Welcome to the Guard Report. I am
Hey.
Jared Weiss of Celtics Wire, and you're going to get Jimmy Toscano over here to my left. And if you use DraftKings, you're going to dap it up with your friends first. And then
play with your
you're going to
friends.
get free playing with your
Play
friends.
DraftKings with your friends.
You can play with them however you want, but you can also do it on DraftKings using the promo code CLNS. You probably have figured that out because you're watching CLNS Media Network.
I'm a big DraftKings football guy. Not so much basketball, but football for sure.
So if you want to destroy Jimmy Toscano and take his money, go to DraftKings and use the promo code CLNS for your free entry. Now, let's talk about someone who just made free entry into my heart, and that's JAYLEN Brown, who, you know, I heard earlier today about the death of a close friend of his, and it became a massive storyline tonight, kind of slowly emanating throughout the evening. Lost his best friend, talked about it, choking back tears after the game. It was Trevin Steed. I feel bad if I got that wrong. I apologize. Rest in peace to him. It was an incredibly tragic day for JAYLEN Brown, who had one of the most incredibly triumphant moments of his entire career. I mean, did you know about it during the game? I feel like people started to pick up on it.
I had heard about it in the beginning of the game, and it was just kind of like wild knowing that while I was watching him play the way he was. And it kind of reminded me a little bit, you know, not quite to that extent, but a little bit about the way Isaiah Thomas played in the wake of his sister's passing last year. And Brad Stevens said after the game that he kind of had a similar conversation with JAYLEN Brown that he had with Isaiah Thomas. And you know, at the end, you know, JAYLEN Brown, I think it was, he spoke to his friend's mom, and they both decided that he should play the game. And I bet you they're all glad he did, not just because they won, but because he was able to honor his friend in a way that these two probably bonded on many, many days and nights on the basketball court. So what a way to honor somebody so close to you.
You know, JAYLEN told this beautiful story about he transferred to Wheeler High, which is a really successful basketball program outside of Atlanta, near Marietta, Georgia, where he's from. And that when he showed up there, he just sat by himself the first couple days, as JAYLEN obviously is one to do. He's very insular. And his friend came up to him and said, "You're coming to sit with me." And he said from that moment, they were best friends after that. And, you know, JAYLEN has a small crew that he keeps with him here in Boston of family and friends. But that was one guy who was also a real part of that community for him. You know that, you know, when you're an NBA player, you have a very small circle of people that you truly
that you really trust.
And apparently
hopefully,
that was certainly,
you do.
And certainly that was one of those people.
Antoine Walker might beg to differ.
And just to see, that's who I was thinking too. To see him elevate himself. What I asked as the lights went out here, what I asked him after the game was he elevated himself to a level of competition that was unbelievable, an intensity level that was really probably stood out among everybody in this game. Yet, at the end of the game, when they needed him to guard Kevin Durant and get over him and smother him, he did it.
He did it.
You know, Kevin Durant had an amazing step-back shot. JAYLEN defended it absolutely perfectly.
He hits
was making
that shot.
those clutch plays, wasn't fouling. This was like the perfect game for him.
I agree. I think he, along with a few other guys, were frustrating guys like Durant and Green. They were missing shots that a lot of times they normally hate as this lawnmower goes by in front of us here. But I think generally speaking, the younger guys outplayed the little bit of the veterans tonight. And I think, again, the JAYLEN Brown, the entire story it's just awesome the way it transpired. I thought another young guy, Tatum,
great pivot,
really stepped up and hit the two biggest free throws of his young, very, very young career tonight when the Celtics were up 2 with, I think it was 6.1 seconds left, and the Celtics did the whole pass the ball around, and whoever ends up with it gets fouled, and sure enough, it was the rookie who is on the court to begin with in that situation. How about that? And it goes to the line. Cool cucumber, baby. Just, 1, 2, Celtics up 4, and that was essentially, all but, it's the Warriors, so you don't want to say it was over, but pretty much was at that point.
I mean, that extra free throw was the difference.
You're right.
Three-point game against the Warriors.
Three-point game, the Celtics are probably still underdogs.
It's true. Even at 4 points, they were still underdogs. The composure was great. What I loved was every time he made a mistake tonight, he still kind of made up for it by just like persistence and effort, and that's what we were really getting out of him.
Oh my gosh, yeah, he's playing beyond his years right now.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is like rookies make mistakes, and he's not immune to that. And he misses some passes he should be making. He'll make a few lapses on defense, but he doesn't check out of the play. He never checks out. Unlike some guys, cough up Kyrie Irving a little bit, but even Kyrie's been better about that. But
Kyrie tonight, he didn't check out.
he
was
sure
the
as
opposite.
He checked out the Warriors. That's what he did. And I mean that as a transactional phase, not as checking them out emotionally or physically. Although he was very impressed with those guys. Quickly before we get out of here, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, they had 10 fouls between them, and then I believe 22 points between them.
Curry was off all night.
Just like the worst Splash Brothers performance we've seen in a long time. Now, Curry came back maybe even a little early from his injury because he wanted to make sure he was here for this one. But still, they attacked him, got him in foul trouble, got Klay Thompson in foul trouble, though he was very pissed off about that one at the end there. I asked Brad about that. Was that like a crucial part of the game plan? And he said, I literally never said anything about that. I guess I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, it was good. So once again, I asked Brad a question, and again, he says it was just bad coaching.
You're actually smarter than Brad.
Apparently,
maybe
I should be running the Celtics.
Who knows? You know who was running the Celtics? Danny Ainge was one. This was one of those games for Danny Ainge where he's just watching somewhere, just sipping some tea, and just saying, just
non-alcoholic tea.
Yeah, non-alcoholic, of course, nothing in it, and just seeing, Brown do his thing, dunking all over the place, blocking guys, and then seeing Tatum going online, hitting those free throws, watching Kyrie come alive in the fourth. He's just sitting there,
He's just like
in the background.
He was crushing O'Doul's.
Crushing some O'Doul's, just slamming them
Dan
back.
O'Doul just slamming on his forehead. I don't think he would even trade Jaylen Brown for Anthony Davis at this point.
I don't think you would trade him for Michael Jordan in Michael Jordan's prime.
I think that's the best way to end it. By the way, I would trade any of these guys for Anthony Davis. Who's Anthony Davis? Get it together, America. For Jimmy Toscano,
I still don't. I don't know. After tonight, I don't know.
We'll save it for next time. Jimmy Toscano, Jared Weiss, Jeremy Carr on the camera, Jacob Toby roaming around wearing a very nice sweater vest
just
tonight.
dabbed on us.
This is the Garden Report on CLNS Media Network,
and
the lights are out, but the Celtics winning streak continues at 14 games.
Wow.
Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. I'm going to go to bed now. Peace.